Hi, this is Ed Rushman for the Whitestone Journal. Doing my usual commute video, apparently is the new thing now. So the Pope's called for 1 million young people to go to Washington. Sort of interesting with the vacuum in some ways left by Bernie being out of the political race here in 2016. I wonder if the Pope is not trying to necessarily, but I wonder to some degree if there's some filling of that role. The young people are looking for some kind of a leader, and it's kind of interesting that they were willing to accept an older one. Very, very different people, of course. But I wonder what the objective is. I need to read it in detail. I haven't done that yet. But I wonder what the objective is and how that's going to go. The first thing I thought of was, I wonder who's going to give the I Have a Dream speech. I wonder who will, if there's somebody, young or old, or if the Pope himself will do it, that will come out and give some kind of a, or say something, give some kind of a talk that, makes it all work and gives people something as really a kind of a charter or a mandate for action. And I have confidence that it'll be something good if he does it, and probably if somebody else does it. And, what's the point? What does it show? It shows that enough people care, if this works out. But maybe the more powerful thing, if I were in that position, which I won't be, to give that talk, I think that the message might be that it's possible to live our faith, to believe as we do, be faithful to it, without insulting anybody, without shouting, without having to put anybody else down. That's a big thing in this campaign that drives me crazy right now, is that people feel it's necessary to insult other people if they disagree. And at the same time, that anybody that disagrees, however politely, it's taken as hate speech, either way. That, they're not defending the country, they're hating the country, or else on the other side that they're hating the people that they're opposing. So to put the idea forward that we can live vibrant lives, that we can live true to our beliefs without attacking anyone, without harming anybody else, without triumphalism, which is something we don't hear about much anymore, but that was an error that was made before. The idea that, we're so much better and we're winning and all that. And of course, right now we're certainly not winning. This is the post-Christian era. But, maybe that's the thing. Maybe it would be the idea that it's still possible to live in a way that makes sense, or in a way that works. Because a lot of what's proposed doesn't work very well. I don't know. But maybe that would be the message, would be that it works, we can live this way, we don't have to harm anybody else to do it. And then how do we live? It's almost like the church in the modern world. I think that's Gaudium et Spes. How do we live our lives in a way and witness in a way that works in this society, in a society that's pretty much fragmented and going to pieces, where there's so much hatred, so much envy, and we're not going to be in the privileged group. There's certainly some part of the 1% that's Catholic. It's probably the same percentage as the rest of the population, or a little less. Demographically, Catholics are not as wealthy as the rest of the population. But of course, we're made up of a lot of people that are immigrants and, not driving very well. One of the few times where I've struggled with driving here. But they let me in, that was nice of them. See such courtesy. Traffic is actually, and driving is actually not a bad metaphor for the way that we have to live. As a Catholic, I'm trying to be kind and loving to the people that are driving around me. And that means, letting them in, trying to find a way amidst all the bad drivers. A good driver can still help the flow of traffic work. We can still all get along Rodney King said. We've got to find a way to make that work. So amid all the bad drivers and everything, it still has to be possible for me to be a good driver. And being a good driver still makes it better overall for everyone. Even the bad drivers benefit. And I am more than happy for the bad drivers to benefit from my good driving. I'm not here to punish somebody. I could tell you a funny story about that, but I won't. It's possible to drive well and to show courtesy to people even if they are jerks. And if I do something kind for somebody and they flip me off or otherwise don't appreciate it, that's okay. The kindness is still worth doing. So maybe trying to get along and find a way to have all these different kinds of drivers still make progress without bumping into each other and without aggravating each other too much. Maybe that's possible for the country too. Maybe it's possible for the world. With all the anger and envy and pain and killing and everything else, there's got to be a better way. We know what it is. We can't make everybody else follow it, but if we follow it, we can still make the world a better place. Probably end up having more net happiness for ourselves as well. Anyway, it's just a couple of thoughts. If you go to Washington, D.C., I hope that you have a good time, and I hope that somebody says something wonderful. I hope people do something wonderful. I hope that the servers in the restaurants and the people that work in the hotels and the cabbies and everybody else in Washington, D.C. experience a wave of love, and that in going that everybody experiences something wonderful from it, not just the people that are going, but that everybody they contact experiences the love of God. That would be a wonderful thing. Ed Rushman, Whitestone Journal.